Hello and welcome to Breaking Bread with Rivaj Maharaj, where nothing is off the table. For today's episode, I wanted to talk about the reports over the last 2 or 3 days that have slowly been drip fed to the media regarding the actions that Denmark was prepared to take should the United States mount an invasion or launch an invasion on Greenland. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Over the last 2 or 3 days, there's been articles steadily coming out about the actions that Denmark was prepared to take in defense of Greenland should the United States launch an attack on Greenland. If you recall, late last year, Donald Trump had come out saying that he wanted to annex Greenland. He wanted to purchase Greenland, and he got severe pushback not only from the Greenlanders but from the Danes, from the rest of Europe, as well as NATO. And he had launched released those cartoons of the planting the United States flag in Greenland, and it was something that was really ramping up and had become a serious cause for contention. But then you find that over the last 2 or 3 days, there was an article that was released regarding, blood that was being stockpiled in Greenland in the event of a United States invasion. Then there's an article here by Sky News. Denmark sent explosives to blow up Greenland runways amid Trump invasion threat. Copenhagen also deployed soldiers and used military aircraft to transport blood from Denmark to help treat the wounded in case of battle. And Euronews, Denmark deployed troops to Greenland in January fearing US invasion, local media reports.
Denmark was prepared to blow up its own airport runways to stop the United States from landing. Explosives packed, blood supplies shipped, French, German and Norwegian troops quietly deployed to the Arctic. All of it to stop an ally, a NATO partner, from invading. Trump kept saying he wanted Greenland. Copenhagen decided to take him seriously. Within NATO, one country was quietly preparing to fight another.
So, when you see all this starting to filter out, and when you see the United States, when you see Europe and, the European continent along with the United Kingdom and their stance against Donald Trump's request for assistance in the Strait of Hormuz, everything's starting to fall into place, and you understand that the refusal to assist the United States is coming on the back of the humiliation that they experienced from Donald Trump and his administration regarding Denmark, but also the manner in which he spoke about Europe at the Davos forum. I think it was late last year. Now, the ramifications from this are, they could be severe, because America, by way of fracking, is producing a lot of its own oil, and I think it only purchases something like 3% of oil from the Gulf. At the worst, Donald Trump can decide to pull out of Iran. He can leave Iran completely to the Israelis and care not what happens to Iran. He can then ignore the crisis in the Hormuz Strait, because the United States doesn't require the Hormuz Strait for its oil requirements. It can pivot to, it can purchase Russian oil. He's desanctioned that. So it's a very tricky game that the Europeans and the UK and Japan and the rest of the allies are playing, because should Donald Trump decide to evacuate Iran and just evacuate the conflict altogether, he leaves the Europeans and its allies sitting with a massive problem. Because as it stands, Abbas Araghchi has said the United Kingdom allowing its bases to be used, the United Kingdom entertaining the thoughts of sending a stability force to the Strait of Hormuz, makes the United Kingdom an official target. Now, we know Chinese and Indian and Pakistani ships are being allowed through the Straits of Hormuz. We know that India received its first tank of LPG gas that was allowed through. However, I suspect that European tankers are going to be held back, especially ones sending energy to the United Kingdom. And this is why I say it's very important, because in their push to save some sort of face, they may actually be cutting their own nose to spite their face. They may shoot themselves in the foot, where Donald Trump exits the Iran war and they're left carrying the can. Pretty much like what's happening in Ukraine. And the Europeans are not in a position to deal with this. So, all this posturing regarding Denmark and releasing all this is, it shows the lengths to which they were prepared to go and how serious they took his threat. And, he's recently come out and said that NATO are cowards for not having got involved with the trying to secure the Straits of Hormuz. All this is posturing. And what's happening is he's baiting the Europeans, he's baiting the United Kingdom, he's baiting NATO. And Donald Trump, as I've said in my previous videos, he's somebody that's not going to forget. He's going to hold it against these countries. So we're going to keep a close eye on this, and we'll let you know as things progress. I want to thank you for spending time with us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, as it helps us with the algorithm and it helps our channel to grow.